Hi, I want to talk about today on reverse this array, um, A, B, C, D, E, F. But then I don't want to use dot reverse function. So how do I do that? But then I want to use a native function to do this. So the first, I was given this is given. So then I'm going to call this function name function reverse array in place. And then R is the parameter that gets passed in. I'm going to close the function. And inside the function, I'm going to go ahead and add temporary variable. So this temporary variable will hold the reverse array. So it will be such as F E dot dot dot, and then the last one would be A. Okay, and then the next part, it would be for, I'm going to do a for loop and start a function block. And inside of for loop, I'm going to have conditions. When var is equal to, I'm going to set var is equal to 0. I want this to be less than array.length. As we know that array.length is indexed with 1, and then the index for array is starting with 0. So you don't want to go more than the array.length. You want to go less than array.length. And then index I++. So this is going to increment I, so it will loop through each one going here. It will move to different index. Next part, I want to use pop. This removes last element and returns that element that you just removed. And I'm going to put this last element that gets popped into this variable called holding pot. And I will refer to the array that I just passed in, dot pop. So var holding pot equals array.pop. For the very first element, when I is equal to 0, it would be A or F. Which one? So pop removes the last element, so it will be F. So here, you notice there's no I inside of here, but as long as I is less than our array length, this variable assignment will keep calling. So the first time it calls, it will look at the array, and then it will say, okay, I need to pop the very last element. So it will just pop first F. And then, as I said earlier, it returns that element. That element is F. So right now, holding pot has F in there. And the next one, inside of this for loop, I want to move the last element into temp R. So now holding part has F, which is the last element, and I'm going to move it into temp R. How do we do that? Have you guessed the right answer? It is temp R. I'm going to refer that array. And how do you add an element into an array? Yes, if you guess push, that is correct. And it'll be dot push, and then what am I pushing? I'm pushing F, but to make it dynamically, you want to refer on a variable. So here I created a variable holding pot, so I put holding pot in here. So currently what this is doing is inside of a temp R, there's an array, and holding pot is F. So F is going in there right now. The next part, now we have an array from, we're given an array here. And right now temp R has F. And what happened to the original array? Original array now has just these elements, A, B, C, D, E, and F is now gone because pop removed that last element. However, I want to make sure that array.length equals to each element, each time the number of element is in the array. So if you're removing F, then this array.length will get shortened each time it loops. That I don't want to do. Because when it hits to I equals 3, actually array.length is going to keep moving. So it will be actually array.length will be 3. So you won't even go to here, D, E, F. So I want to make sure it goes to the entire array number of times because I want to reverse every single element. So I'm going to add back in what I remove. But then I want to put it in front because currently pop is removing from the last element. So if I put it in the front, it won't mess up this whole algorithm here by popping it and then pushing it to the temp array, which temp array will have all the element but reversed. I suggest playing around with without doing the part where I'm just going to tell you, and then you can actually see it yourself that this doesn't completely reverse the entire array. So you can actually just pause the video and just run it by itself and see what happens. The next part, so what I'm trying to do is put anything, like any element, but I'm going to just put the element that I push, whatever the holding pot has, because there's a one element in there. So I'm just going to unshift it and put it in the front. So F, so holding pot has F right now, and that element F will go up front. And it really doesn't matter what element I'm putting in. I could even put like a symbol in there if I wanted to. But I'm going to put just holding pot because this one just has one element. Any single element. Single element. At the front of array. Okay. So how do we insert things in the front of an array? Like I want to put F in the front here, this area. Okay, there is a method called .unshift. So let's see. So array .unshift. And then I'm gonna unshift with the what element, this F here. So currently is holding pot. So holding pot. Yep. So then that ends it, and that actually successfully makes everything reverse and then puts it inside of a temp array. So the next part is, right now I want to mutate the original array. So reverse this array using native function, and then I guess I need to put mutate the original array. So that part is important. Like I want to mutate the original. I don't want to return a new array here, but I want to mutate this array here, R. So here is that step that covers it. So assign R array to have the reverse array values from temp array. Okay, so then how do we do that? How do we assign another array into my original array? So first, you just do a simple assignment operator. So if you do that, whatever that's inside of a temp array, currently it's going to be array FEDCBA. It's going to go inside of array. And then in the end, I want to say, hey, I want to return array R. And that will give me back the array whenever I run it. So just to see if it works, I'm just gonna call reverse array in place R. There you go, FEDCBA, that happened. Thank you.